The moment Arham saw the message pop up on his girlfriend's phone, the world around him seemed to freeze, as if time itself had stopped breathing. It was a single line, simple and harmless to anyone else, but devastating to him. "I wish things were different. I wish you were mine." And beneath it was the name he trusted more than anyone else in his life: Daniel, his best friend, his brother in everything but blood. In the sharp, suffocating stillness of that moment, Arham felt something inside him crack open, spilling a kind of pain he had never imagined. It was betrayal on two fronts, a wound with two knives, and for a long moment he just stood there, phone trembling in his hands, wondering how love and friendship could twist into something so complicated, so cruel, so heartbreakingly human. If you believe in kindness, healing, and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support truly means a lot. Arham wasn't the type to invade someone's privacy. He had seen the notification accidentally when Noor's phone lit up beside him. He wasn't even sure why he tapped it. Maybe instinct. Maybe a whisper of doubt he didn't want to acknowledge. Whatever it was, the message opened a floodgate he wasn't ready for. He felt the weight of 10 years of friendship slam into him. Daniel was the boy who fought bullies for him in school, the one who cried with him when his father died, the one who helped him build his small photography business from scratch. A friend who knew everything: his dreams, his fears, his weaknesses. And Noor, she was the calm in his storm, the person who made him feel seen, understood, whole. The idea that the two most important people in his life were entangled in a feeling he wasn't aware of was unbearable. When Noor walked into the room with 2 cups of tea in her hands, she immediately sensed something wrong. Arham's face was pale, his breathing shallow, his eyes clouded with something she had never seen before. But he couldn't speak. He just looked at her, then at the phone, then back at her. Noor froze, realization dawning slowly but sharply. She explained before he could ask, her voice trembling. She told him she didn't feel anything for Daniel, that she had already blocked him after confronting him days ago. She said she didn't tell Arham because she didn't want to destroy his friendship, didn't want to be the reason 2 brothers drifted apart. She tried to hold his hand, but Arham gently pulled away, not in anger, but in overwhelming hurt. He didn't know what to feel. He didn't know what to believe. He just needed space. That night, Arham drove aimlessly around the city, watching blurry lights smear across the windshield like melting stars. Memories played in his mind: laughter, promises, late-night talks, moments of loyalty, moments of love. He wasn't angry at Noor. He could see the sincerity in her eyes. He wasn't even fully angry at Daniel. He knew emotions could grow in the wrong places at the wrong time. What he felt instead was an aching sadness. That things had changed, that the sense of safety he once had was cracked, that nothing would ever be as simple again. Days passed with silence pressing heavily between all 3 of them. Noor kept checking on him gently, giving him space, but not abandoning him. She placed handwritten notes on his desk, cooked his favorite meals, sat quietly beside him when he worked, not demanding, just present. Arham slowly began to see how much she valued their relationship. He could feel her sincerity in the way she waited, patient and hopeful. But the shadow of Daniel's message still loomed over him. Finally, Arham decided he needed answers, not assumptions. He went to see Daniel. He found him sitting alone on the park bench they used to share as kids, the one where they had made dreams and plans before life scattered them in different directions. Daniel looked up, surprised, then ashamed, then defeated. Arham sat beside him silently for a long moment, letting the cold wind speak for them. Daniel confessed everything in a broken, honest voice. He said he had been struggling for months, watching Arham and Noor together, feeling something he didn't want to feel. He said he tried to bury it, tried to distance himself, tried everything to kill what he felt. But feelings, he said, were like stubborn shadows. You can turn your back, but they follow. He said he never wanted to harm Arham, never wanted to cross a line, never wanted to create chaos. The message was a moment of weakness, a mistake, a burst of emotion he regretted the second he hit send. Arham listened quietly, and as he listened, he realized how complicated human hearts were. He could see the guilt in Daniel's eyes, the regret, the self-disgust, but he could also see the honesty, the raw, human truth behind it. Daniel wasn't a villain. He was just a man who fell in love with the wrong person, at the wrong time, in the wrong way. Arham took a long breath and finally spoke, not with anger, not with judgment, but with a heavy sincerity. He told Daniel that while he understood the emotions, trust had been broken, and trust, once cracked, rarely returned the same. Their friendship might survive, he said, but it would never go back to what it was. Daniel nodded silently, tears glistening but never falling. They both knew it was true. When Arham returned home, Noor stood at the doorway, her expression mixed with worry and hope. Without a word, he stepped toward her and pulled her into a long, deep embrace. It wasn't forgiveness, it wasn't closure. It was a beginning of rebuilding, of healing, of learning to trust again. Noor broke down in his arms, apologizing over and over, but he held her tighter, whispering that he believed her, that he wanted to move forward, that love wasn't meant to be perfect, it was meant to be fought for. Slowly, life began to regain its colors. Arham and Noor became closer than ever, because now they understood the fragility of love, how easily it could shatter, and how carefully it must be held. They communicated more, shared more, trusted more. And in time, Arham let Daniel back into his life, not as the brother he once was, but as a friend from a distance, someone he cared about but could no longer rely on blindly. It was bittersweet, but it was real. Months passed. Arham's photography business flourished. Noor excelled in her career, and they both learned what it meant to grow not only as individuals but as partners. Sometimes, late at night, Arham still felt a faint sting when he remembered that message, but he didn't let it poison his heart. Instead, he used it as a reminder that forgiveness wasn't a weakness, and that love, real love, required courage. There was a moment that marked a complete shift in their journey. One evening, Arham was editing photos when Noor walked in holding an old scrapbook she had made. She sat beside him and opened it slowly. Inside were memories, pictures of them laughing, traveling, building a life together. But at the end, Noor had added a new page. On it she had written, "Thank you for choosing us. Thank you for not giving up. Thank you for believing in the strength of love." Arham felt tears sting his eyes. That page wasn't just a thank you, it was a promise. A promise that she would continue choosing him, walking beside him, building something beautiful together. And in that soft, quiet moment, Arham understood something profound. Sometimes life tests you not to show your weaknesses, but to reveal your strength. Sometimes people fail not because they don't love you, but because they are human. And sometimes forgiveness becomes the very thing that rebuilds the world you thought was broken forever. Their love grew deeper, stronger, wiser. Not perfect, but real. If this story touched your heart even a little, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and sharing. Your support helps keep these emotional stories alive. Before the ending, here's a special request. Comment below. I believe real love survives storms. In the end, Arham looked back at everything, the betrayal, the healing, the doubts, the strength, and realized that life had given him something far greater than pain. It had given him clarity. It had shown him that people are flawed, that hearts are unpredictable, that relationships are delicate tapestries woven with trust, honesty, and forgiveness. And most importantly, it had shown him that love isn't just about the moments when everything is perfect. Love is about the moments when everything falls apart, and you still choose to hold on. One day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of orange and gold, Arham and Noor stood hand in hand on their rooftop. The wind was gentle, the world quiet, their hearts steady. Noor leaned her head on his shoulder, and Arham whispered something he hadn't said in a long time: "I'm happy." And he meant it not because life was perfect, but because they had survived imperfection together. And sometimes, that's the most beautiful ending of all.